Hi guys and welcome to Prediction Week 26, and we start with the lunchtime kickoff, Burnley versus Manchester City. And obviously we know that Burnley, they've kind of dipped down in form a little bit over the last couple of months. But I still think that Turf Moor is a horrible place to go to. You know, they're going to make it really tough for Manchester City. But you'd expect Manchester City, even though they probably took the foot off the gas a little bit because I think they're 15 points clear at the top now. So, you know, even though they've took the foot off the gas, you'd expect Man City to be the stronger side and to be too strong for Burnley. So I'm going to go Burnley 1 and Man City 2. Now we go to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and we have West Brom versus Southampton, two teams that are down the bottom. I don't usually give 3 points to these two teams that are down the bottom, but I'm going to give it to Southampton because I think Southampton are slightly the better side than West Brom, even though it is at West Brom. I just think that Southampton's got the better quality than West Brom. As I say, West Brom will make it tough. You know, they're in for a fight of their lives as well. So I'm going to go West Brom 1, Southampton 2. Then we have Manchester United versus Huddersfield. I thought Manchester United were absolutely awful against Tottenham. I suppose not conceding, 14 seconds into the game didn't really exactly help. It might have been 11 seconds, can't quite remember. But it didn't exactly help the situation. I watched the game. They didn't really have much of a sniff. Considering Tottenham had like 18 attempts, something like that. So they had a really, really poor game. But they are back at Old Trafford. And Huddersfield, as I said, they're fighting for points at the moment. They've dipped down in form as well. So I'd expect Manchester United to want to get back to winning ways and to win quite comfortably. So I'm going to go Manchester United 2, Huddersfield 0. Then we have Bournemouth versus Stoke. Again, two teams that are in desperate need of 3 points, really. But I'm not going to give them. I think it's going to be a very tight, tough game. I'm going to go Bournemouth 1, Stoke 1. Now this is going to be an interesting one, because I'm going to go for a tight game, but I've gone. We have Leicester versus Swansea, and obviously Swansea absolutely fantastic against Arsenal on the Tuesday night. Arsenal were absolutely terrible, to be fair, but Swansea, they're going to be high in confidence, getting 3 points like that, and the way they did it as well. They played superb actually. Okay, Arsenal playing shit didn't exactly help, but you can only play what's put in front of you, and Arsenal were absolutely dog shite on Tuesday, and Swansea deserved their 3 points. And I say the reason this is going to be quite tricky because, as I say, Swansea are high in confidence at the moment, and I'm not sure how the dressing room at Leicester is going to be at the moment, with Riyad Mahrez putting in a transfer request on deadline day, and obviously it got rejected. He's still a Leicester player, and apparently he refused to train again yesterday. So I'm not sure how the dressing room is at the moment around that at Leicester with the Riyad Mahrez situation. Obviously, I know myself with Alexis Sanchez, how the dressing room was there. So it's going to be quite a tricky one. It was quite a tricky one to come up with the scoreline for this one. So I have gone Leicester 1, Swansea 1. Like I said, Swansea, they are down the bottom for a reason. Yes, it was a fantastic win, but we can't get too carried away with that. And as I say, with Leicester, I'm not sure how the dressing room is. So I'm going to go for the safe call. I'm just going to go for a draw 1-1. Then we have Brighton versus West Ham. Again, two teams that need 3 points. I'm going to give them to Brighton because, as I said, I think they're the slightly better side to West Ham. They are at home. I'm going to go Brighton 2, West Ham 1. And then at 5:30, we have Arsenal versus Everton. Arsenal can't play any worse than they did on Tuesday. To be fair, their home form's not too bad actually. They play much better at home than they have away. I think we've only won 3 away this year, which is absolutely dreadful. That's like relegation form, that is. So luckily, it's our home form that's been keeping us alive. Actually, I'm not sure if he's going to be turning his attentions to the Europa League now. Arsene Wenger, because with Tottenham winning on the weekend on Wednesday against Manchester United, they're now 5 points. Let's believe 5 points clear of us. Liverpool also won. They're 8 points. So it's getting further and further and further away the top 4. And as I say, I don't really agree with it, but I suppose we have to win the Europa League now to get ourselves into the top 4. Going into the Everton game, obviously they've had a really poor season as well. Yes, okay, they won on Wednesday, 2 goals from Theo Walcott, and also it's the return of Theo Walcott on Saturday. So is that going to come back to haunt us? Don't know. Arsenal did have made some fantastic signings in the January transfer window. We did get, how do you pronounce his name? Mkhitaryan. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his first name, but I think it's Mkhitaryan. So he's a good replacement for Alexis Sanchez. And the fantastic news is we spent 60 million on Aubameyang. Again, I hope I've pronounced that right as well. I'm absolutely terrible with these foreign names. I do apologise. Will Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang make their debuts? I think they've got to be fair. Arsenal need to start making their voices heard, I suppose. And they need to maybe get a couple of goals this weekend, going into the derby next weekend against Tottenham. So, as I say, Everton's been poor. Arsenal usually make life harder for themselves, but with the Aubameyang starting, maybe Mkhitaryan starting, I'm going to go for a confident win for Arsenal. I'm going to take a massive gamble here. I'm going to go Arsenal 3, Everton 1. And if that comes back to bite me on the arse, everyone's got every right to come out and banter me on Twitter and on here and for the rest of the week if I get that one horribly wrong. Sunday kickoffs, 2:15. We have Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Again, two teams are fighting for 3 points. Again, it's going to be a hard one. I'm going to go Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 1. Now, I'm going to go for a really, really live game for this one. Just spoke about Liverpool Spurs, actually. So, at 4:30, we have Liverpool versus Tottenham. And, we know that Liverpool score a lot of goals. We know that Liverpool concede a lot of goals. The way Tottenham played on Wednesday against Manchester United, it looks like they're gonna annihilate Liverpool. But somehow Liverpool usually turn up at Anfield. So especially in these big games, they always seem to turn up in the big boys. It's the small teams they don't seem to really turn up with. But I'm going to go for a really, really live game in this one. I'm going to go Liverpool 3, Tottenham 3. And that's purely simply because I know Tottenham are strong at the back, but I think it's going to be one of them end-to-end kind of games and you score, we score. So let's hope so. It makes a great reading for the neutral point of view, watching that kind of game. So let's hope so. And on Monday, 8 o'clock, we have Watford versus Chelsea. I did briefly forget to mention, actually, I suppose I've sounded a little bit disrespectful, actually, in the Bournemouth-Stoke game, just reminded me of Chelsea. The Bournemouth will be high in confidence at the moment. So I might have done a wrong prediction there for the Bournemouth-Stoke game, but, we'll see. It could be the same situation with the Swansea Leicester game. So, but going back to Chelsea, they lost 3-0 to Bournemouth at home. Not away, at home. So there's something going wrong at Chelsea at the moment. But as I say, Watford are quite poor themselves. They've been quite poor this season. So Chelsea really, really need to start getting their act together. And what better way to do it than beating someone down the bottom and making a stand? So I'm going to go Watford 0, Chelsea 2. So that has been my predictions for this weekend, guys. Just a little something as well, as it's like midway through the season, I suppose. I just want to say, thank you to the people that have respected me, and respected my wishes, and it says, don't leave nasty comments, just, if you don't like the video, either click off it, or, just thumb down the video, and people have been sticking to that, I've seen a couple of thumb downs, but no comments, so I really appreciate that. As I said, thumb down as much as you like. If you don't like my predictions, or you don't like the way I do things, I've got no problem with that, with you thumbing down the video, but as I said, just don't do any nasty or hate comments because you will be blocked and your comment will be removed. So far people have respected my wishes and I thank you for that and I respect you for that. That was just a little announcement from me. So that's been my prediction for this weekend, guys, and I will see you next week for next week's predictions. Thank you for watching, guys.